All right. Hello, gents. Hello, ladies. We are in for a good one tonight because SATAC is kicking off. And we have some interesting stuff going on in SATAC this year. For example, got a lot of different maps, dynamic weather. We're trying to utilize all terrains, Syria, Caucasus, Persian Gulf, you name it. And what a good maps we have actually in DCS these days. All right, so let's look at the schedule quickly before we get moving here. Rich, can you hear me? Putting you on comms. By the way, everyone, welcome Rich. He is my co-host for today. And he is doing a marvelous job behind the scenes, also moderating and coordinating and infiltrating. I don't know what else you're doing, bro.
Maybe.
Basically, he's
Don't
KGB.
talk about that. Just a little, maybe a lot.
I think Rich earns the KGB badge, man. You know. But yeah, man, good stuff. Good stuff. And on top of that, check out this new graphics, man. Look at that. As we look at the schedule, which is rolling, by the way, we are now in group stage for everyone who's tuning in. So this is gonna be an event that's probably gonna go for at least 2 months. We have the group stage conclude towards the end of the month, and you can see what is happening. Now this schedule is not set in stone because there are chances of rescheduling, but usually within that week time frame. All right, so let's have a look. Rich, what do you think about the groups, man?
Some interesting matchups in all four. So it's definitely going to be a lot of action going on. And,
yeah.
With the dynamic maps and some interesting payload things going on. Yeah, hopefully a very big selection of different aircraft as well to go along with it.
Yeah. Well, this is the first match of the tournament, and I'm really excited about it because this is Group B action. And that group is a tough one, man. We've got InSky, we've got number 15. You know, we've got quite a lot of, let's just say, quite established squadrons in there. Yeah, man, I'm gonna actually have a look at that again because that group, there's only 2 teams qualifying, by the way. So the format is just like the World Cup. We've got 5 teams a group. We've got 4 groups. Everyone has to play everyone at least one time, and the top 2 teams qualify to the quarterfinals. All right, let's have a look at the other group, C and D. What do we have? We've got Eclipse Task Force. They are really moving up the ranks in DCS lately. They're doing well. I think they were in finals of TACT recently. We've got Chinese Festival. This is exciting stuff today. By the way, we have two Chinese teams, I believe. Rich, am I right?
They come back to the sort of Western DCS scene.
Right. So essentially, we have 2 Chinese teams spread out between one in Group C and the other one in Group B. So that's what we are flying today, or rather, we are having them fly on the first 2 matches. And who are they facing, Rich? What's the match that you're more excited by? We have the Turks on one end, PTAF. And then what about the other match that the Liberator will stream?
I'm just happy to see just the Chinese put out a show for us today. So
right. So yeah, big welcome to our Chinese friends. I know it's not easy for you, especially with all the VPNs and things you need to do to get online, and I hope it goes smoothly. All right. In any case, Rich, we're gonna get the servers up and running, and we talked about this. This is the time for us to have a look at the weather and mission settings, isn't it? So what do you say we roll the dice, and then for the first 3 matches today, let's get that sorted.
Sounds good to me.
All right. All right, so I'm gonna do the honors here. Would you like to explain to everyone how this is gonna work, Rich?
So yeah, pretty much simple random roll. We have 20 missions, and same chance to get either or any of them.
All right.
If a mission is selected, that a team can't fly on, we'll just re-roll again, but remove those missions from the pool. So we should end up with something that everyone can fly.
All right, so results 1 to 6. Let's roll for the match that Deliberator will stream. By the way, for everyone, and Yambo and Tech, can you guys get on it and share the link of Deliberator? He's going to be streaming concurrently that first round action as well between Chinese Festival and who's the other team, Rich, they're facing?
The 420th Blazers.
The 420th Blazers. Damn, I mean, that's a reference. If there ever was one. All right. That's pretty cool. I've never... Yeah, that should be interesting. You guys on the block. And of course, Chinese Festival, they are no stranger. They last competed in SATAC, I guess, a couple years back. Okay, so let's roll their mission and weather for that match. Are you ready?
Send it.
Let's send it, baby. Oh, 2. All right, so Rich, explain to me the conditions. What does number 2 yield us?
All right, we have clear midday. So
Okay.
not much, just nice sunny day. Not much going on. Bit of a bad roll there, but hey ho.
Oh, you were expecting a storm, huh?
Wow, there's definitely some interesting presets in here.
Oh boy. Right. Okay, so that's gonna be the weather for that. What about the map?
Oh, it'll be Sochi Mozdok.
Sochi Mozdok. All right, so awesome. Deliberator, I guess you got that. Rich is gonna be sending you the mission, and I believe that particular match will be held on European server number 3. Yep. So let's get the show going. Hey, Fox Alpha Ubernator, howdy guys. Aerospace professional. All right, Rich, so what about our second match of the day, the match that me and you are gonna cover and hopefully have a good time doing?
Oh, let's find out.
All right, so let's find out. I'm sending it. Let's see. Oh, it's a 3. So pretty calm weather today. All right.
So,
fair enough.
Looks like we'll be having fun in Sochi Mozdok again. We've got an overcast morning with rain.
Ooh.
So we got some weather on the go now.
Ooh, baby. Sochi Mozdok with overcast. I like this. With some rain. Damn. Okay.
Let's see what ED have been up to with their the new clouds.
All right, so we don't need to roll the dice here. I think we're done. Are we gonna do it for match number 3, or do we leave that to Kebab later on to roll that honors when he streams it tomorrow? All right. I'm gonna put back the schedule just quickly one more time so that we kind of know quickly what we're looking at. There will be more matches coming up, guys. Tomorrow, I think we have a match at 1800, or is that correct, Rich? I believe.
Yes, 1800.
Right. Right, so here we go. Today we are gonna be flying Sochi Mozdok right here. Second from the right. I like that Tbilisi Sukhumi map. That is really crazy terrain. But Sochi Mozdok is nice. It's Mount Elbrus, bro. We're gonna have really scenic, although with overcast.
Yeah. No, don't climb above.
So match number 4 here in the schedule, as you can see today, is Chinese Festival versus 420th Blazers. And that's on the Liberator channel. Don't miss that. He's gonna get going as well. Some of the other matches scheduled for the next week. Rich, just to be sure, get me the server details.
Will do.
I'm gonna try to set it up now. Coming back to VTAF versus InSky. That's what we have in store for you guys today. And it's...
So guys, now I'm with you after. So sorry guys for the lateness. Of course, if you just if you just seen the given teams and the given match for today, we have heard Backshot presenting the fight for today. Sorry, I could not talk to you guys because I had the stream that you were watching right now and the guys talking live in the Discord, so I was a bit overwhelmed. So now I'm back with you again, gents, just for all you to know, everything sorted out. Sochi Mothlock is the map that we are going to have for today's match. And of course, our good friends from... as usual, as you all know, guys, I tend to to fuck up some names. I'll be sure to fuck some up, but nevertheless, we have Chinese Festival, one of the few Chinese teams participating in any kind of tournaments for today. And on the other side, we have 420th Blazers. Of course, I'll present both of them in a sec. The servers are getting ready. You've heard the weather is going to be overcast for today. And of course, I have to also say now, massive thanks for you, Jambo, for coming in hot with wow, how many given subscriptions you're giving? My oh my god, that's a lot. Give me a sec, it's restarting. Sorry, I was just checking with the guys for the server. Server is being restarted right now, and we are going to start in just a sec. So guys, stay tuned. I will be after. So Enigma, welcome, Dexter. I know that DCI is very fun one. I'm used to do DCI work for PvE missions, and I can only fathom how hard and interesting it's going to be to see that in the eliminatory part of the match afterwards. So guys, we are joining the server. Give us a sec. We'll be back once we have both teams ready and everything sorted out for the match. Stay tuned and see you in a sec. Okay, guys, now things are happening on the other side where you cannot see right now. Guys, the teams are starting. Of course, we have information for both teams, and we'll be checking all of things in just a sec. They are just spawning in, and I'm just setting the cameras ready for today's match. Give me a sec, guys, and we'll be starting. Okay. Por cierto, para todos los compañeros hispanohablantes, el stream de hoy, ¿vale? Como es una competición, es en inglés, ¿vale? Que lo sepáis, no os asustéis, ¿de acuerdo? Es todo en inglés, o sea que no os asustéis cuando veáis que suena todo en inglés, ¿de acuerdo? I was just saying for my fellow Spaniards that for them to know that today's stream is going to be all in English, so all of you gents get to know what's going on, and we all can talk together and know what's going on. So guys, without further ado, let me just hop into the fight and we can start checking on what's going on. Okay, cameras are ready. There we go. Now we have everything up and running. Of course, let me check. Of course, it's been a while since I've gotten to stream any match whatsoever, and I'm getting a bit rusty. Nevertheless, everything is up and running, and we have some good friends from Chinese Festival on the top camera right now. Sorry, on the bottom camera right now, rolling in with this JF-17. A nice surprise, of course, to have a Chinese aircraft in a Chinese team. Who will have guessed? And on the top camera we have 420 goons. And of course, I'll be presenting both teams in a sec, but first... I'm going to present both teams now, and I'll check afterwards about the lineup that both teams have, and we'll talk about the lineup and what we expect. So, let us start with 420th Blazers. This team is the Milsim component of the Air Guns, a flight sim community composed of members of the Something Awful forums and their friends. Something Awful is one of the oldest and largest forums in continuous existence, playing a large role in internet culture history and early memes. What an interesting story for sure. Pilots for the Blazers come from a variety of age, countries and backgrounds. The 420th Blazers also weekly organize missions internally, as well as group raids on various servers. The Blazers will soon be starting a persistent campaign series that can be followed on Something Awful's Let's Play subforum. This competition marks the Blazers' debut in organized PvP tournaments. Of course, guys, you'll know that being the first time in a tournament is something very, very, very intense. And I'm very interested to know how are they going to defend this first participation against an opponent who is a tough cookie. These guys, the Chinese Festival, they are a team that was formed 10 years ago. Guys, we are talking about 10 years ago. That's ancient times in DCS history. So of course, they are one of the earliest flight simulator teams in the Chinese community regarding DCS. The other team, I think it was In Sky, if I'm correct. And fun fact that they are telling me to of course share with you guys is that all their names, all their members use festivities named as code names for the fights. So that's going to be an interesting one to see during the fight and see how we develop with that now. That's going to be an interesting one for sure. Of course, these guys they did participate in other competitions in other tournaments that I know, so they have a bit of experience already with the PvP environment. So they know the thing, they know what they are doing, they know the way in and out, and they should know more than enough to what to expect and what to do. So we'll be seeing, I'm very sure that we will see a very good performance for today's both teams. Of course, me being part of a PvP team also, in this case D3W, I know the hardships of being the newcomer to any kind of tournament. And we'll see if the 420th Blazers are capable of not faltering under the pressure of the first fight and come on top and grant a victory for this first match. So of course, I'm going to also, while we wait for the teams to roll up, I'm going to do a bit of presentation. Oh, that should not be happening, sorry. That should be this one here. So while we have both teams rolling up, let me present to you the map for today. So today we have Moth-Dog, which the base being used by Chinese festival on the northern and the eastern area, and we have this one I'm going to butcher the name for sure. Sochi, sorry, this one being used by 420th. Blazers. Oh, me and my names for sure. For reals, me and my names. I cannot stop butchering them. So, and of course, both you guys to know, Titanium chat, may the best team win for sure. So, of course, we are seeing both teams rolling up, and just for all of you to know as a reference, they have to enter their bubble to have into the fight. This bubble is 40. Oh, this is bigger than I expected. This is 57 miles across, so it's quite big, bigger than other tournaments that tends to be 45, and therefore both teams have to enter the bubble fight. This is a 6v6 fight with AWACS. Okay, remember both teams have AWACS, and the interesting part for this tournament, let me see if I can show you, is that the meteorology is not without any kind of clouds. So we have clouds roaming around all the combat area, and this is something very different to any kind of other tournament we've been seeing altogether. And I'm very interested to see how this one is going to play out. Will the mountains take some lives for guys going downhill, defending and trying to notch those scary missiles and hit the ground? Or will they use it to go into ACM and surprise the enemy, taking them down from unexpected sides? That's something we'll get to see all around this tournament, and I'm very interested to see how things are going to play played out. And of course, without further ado, let's check the lineup for both teams regarding airplanes. Shall we, guys? Let me get the camera ready for you to present them out. Here, okay. Here we are. So, for Chinese Air Festival, we have... Okay, don't ask me to read that one. Don't even ask me to read that names. Sorry, I cannot do that. But nevertheless, I'll try to do my best. I have the numbers. Sorry guys, next time I'll try to ask for your names so I can use them. I know, okay, Bluebird has used the name, perfect. So we have 007 ICU and an 18. 011 Bluebird and an 18 too. 405, I cannot pronounce that, sorry, with a 16. 707 with a 17, 721 with a 16, and 996 with an 18. Of course, these guys, sadly, they could not provide us with skins for today's match, so they will be running with the default skins for today's fight. Hopefully, we will be seeing an interesting skins for next time for them. Hopefully, but of course, we do have skins for our good friends for 120th Blazers. Give me a sec to set everything up on my side. Cameras, please. Help me, cameras. Okay, now we are running. So for 120th Blazers, we have That's It with a 16, Barncom Muffin with a 16, and we don't have 4 Tomcats, no worries. What we have is 1 Tomcat with Valhalla and Lume, one of them pilot, one of the one as Rio, we'll check afterwards. Cheno and King Crab, another 14 Tomcat. And of course, to close things up, we have Mad Dog and Prime, both in 18s. So of course, as you all know, guys, still taxing. Okay, both teams are just getting ready as we speak. We are waiting for the Blazers team to get everything sorted out on the side. Yeah, we are waiting for the 2 Tomcats that are coming in hot there, with that white and red skin for sure. Interesting one. Let me check while we wait for them to arrive. Let me check the skins that we have, shall we? So these guys, you can know that they are up for internet memes and such when you see that what they run with is a grenade on the tail for 120, goons, a bit of interesting little details here and there for sure. That's for the 18. Let me check the 16. 16 we have a tailored Blazers, and the logo squadron they are presented. And that's all. I think I'm missing some skins. I did check with the team to know which skins should I use, and it seems to me that I'm missing some of them. Of course, nevertheless, of course we have the Tomcats. Let us check the Tomcats too. Where are they? Oh, interesting. They are going into the front of the pack. This I did not expect at all. So they are running with the Green Reaper skins, it seems. Both Tomcats running with exactly the same. So let me get the camera ready, because we are going to be starting up in just a few moments. Both teams are almost ready to start. So let me get both cameras ready for them, and we'll be starting. I know that you guys are all pumped up to know how this first fight is going to run. Okay, of course, there was a bit of confusion there. The Chinese did start, so of course the Chinese did start. Nevertheless, that's not a problem. They are just taking off right now, and everything is going on. This time, sorry, I was just doing a few things over the chat. Okay, and we have both teams taking off. Chinese Festival on the left, and we have on the right screen we have the 420th Goonies. No, so Goonies. No, sorry, I'm going to butcher some names. Blazers. Sorry. I'm very bad with names. That's a little detail of mine I cannot repair. I'm trying. I really am trying my best, but so far I could not fix it so far. Someday we'll manage to do so. But Snap, thank you for clarifying that. That's appreciated, because of course one of the little details that we all love seeing ourselves looking good on camera, and that's why our streamers like to get everything sorted out as much as possible for all of you guys, so you can see yourselves fine and looking good and dandy. So let us go with the F10 view for a sec. Let's check the flight information. Because let me first check here. I'm feeling the struggle of not streaming for a few weeks already. Oh freaking gosh. Okay. Now we have right now we have on the left screen we have the 420th Blazers with Burn Coffin on the top, but being overtaken by Prime and Mattock so far. That's it with 16 trailing Burn Muffin as right now, and the two Tomcats sitting out in the back. It seems that they are going to have the two 18s going in hot. First, sending some missile downrange to ease the load on the weight of the aircraft, and have the 16 covering them, and the 14s sending those scary foam poles from the back area into the fight. Goonies. I just remember seeing something about Goonies late before. So maybe air guns, yeah, of course. It is a missing component of the air guns. So if it's the gun, then you are my Goonies friends. Okay, and let us check the information for the... While we wait, let us check the information for the Chinese festival. We have 996 train to the right, 007 James Bond. Actually, I think we should call this guy James Bond. Tarsis, hola mi amigo, welcome to the stream today. Of course, today we are in all different competitions all together. We are running SATAC, and of course, guys, please check this link. So you will get to watch the two fights that are being streamed right now to start the fight at once. With that link, you will be able to watch and listen both streams at once, and that's going to be the best experience if you can manage to cope with all the information being thrown at you. Just for you to know. So I mentioned 996, followed by 721 and 405, when going right, 118 and 216s, and going to the south we have a 118, so 218s being James Bond and Bluebird, and 007. Of course, let me drive cameras with them, of course. While we wait, and of course, let me also check this other camera for a sec. I think it's going to be better if I do this. Yeah, a bit better. So of course, that way we can check how the teams are being deployed. You can see that right now all friends of Goonies, or Goonies friends, are just all of them clumped together, just having a 4 miles out separation. About all the Spanish I can manage. Tu español es mucho mejor que mucha gente que yo conozco. Your Spanish is way better than many people I know, by the way. So don't worry about that. So we have the Goonies that are just spread apart 6 miles up on the right and 8 miles up to, first to last. Let us also check the formation for the All Good Friends on Chinese Air Festival. Okay, we have the first RTB due to problems with the aircraft. That's interesting, of course, for all you guys to know. All teams are allowed to do RTB if needed, so they can solve any issues whatsoever that they have, okay? That means that, of course, a good friend over... Let me do it this way, I do prefer this way, sorry guys. No, it's not going back. Got me scared there, mate. 405 is coming back to the fight. I think he was just positioning himself better to get in the correct formation. So we have this Chinese festival, we have two airplane formation. We have 21 spread apart on the northern side between 996, 721 and 405. Of course, in the southern area, we have James Bond leading the fight with its 18, followed by Bluebird, and we have the 07 trailing, just getting into the perfect position for them to start the fight. You got a lot of a good Jeff, for sure. But of course that's not all, guys. Let us ride with the Tomcats. Tomcats are starting to climb like madmen, and you can see they are getting ready to send those scary flag foam poles downrange and take someone down, someone who is not well prepared enough to know what's coming to them. So let me check the information here. So we have Pepper. The Tomcats are our Angels 40 right now, and even climbing more. They are getting ready to send those missiles that we discussed. Mattock is Angels 40, coming in hot too. Prime, also Angels 26, a bit down, more down. And Burncorn Muffin, being trailed by Dead Seed at Angels 26, coming into the battle area. And of course, let us check the formation once again from Chinese Air Festival. Let us check what are our good friends from China coming in and preparing for today's. This is working? This is working. So of course, 996 is Angels 27 on the north, being followed by 721 Angels 25, and being trailed by 405 Angels 25 here in the top area. Our good friend James Bond on the southern area, 007 Angels 21, Bluebird Angels 33. This might mean that Bluebird is going to either want to get those scary phone poles sent to him and defend them, or to send a few missiles downrange. We'll see, we'll see. And of course, being trailed, but it's 707 with Angels 30. So of course, we are for you to know, gents. Usually, the range more or less that we have for sending downrange the Phoenix are around 80 to 85 miles. So therefore, we will be checking that. We will be checking that measurements. For I expect to see these two guys over 420 Goonies. I'll call them Goonies for now on. Was going to be easier for me. So I will get to see Valhalla and King Crab sending those phone poles downrange for sure. In just a few moments more. Of course, these two guys are in a tight formation, more or less. Yeah, you can see that they are quite close together, just chilling out there, being sure that they are having enough airspeed and enough altitude to send those missiles downrange, and be sure that those are going to connect. And of course, they both are running with human Rios. That means, guys, that these guys know that they need that extra human component to make those missiles connect. Me also being a F-14 Rio, I do understand the importance of having a good Rio on the back of your airplane, being sure that the missile is tracking and the radar is working correctly. Oh, but interestingly, this guy. Oh, by the way, yeah, for you need to know, one main difference for this tournament between all others is that the teams have to run with 4 Fox 3. I repeat, 4 Fox 3 missiles, not more, not any more than that. That means that we see that Tomcat like this one from Valhalla that is running for only 4 Phoenix, 2 Fox 1s and 2 Fox 2s. That's quite a different loadout that we used to see in other competitions regarding Tomcats and 16 and 18s. That means, of course, we'll be seeing a lot. Let me check. I'm very interested to see what are the 14s to the 18s carrying. So 18s are carrying, of course, the 6 120s and 2 AIM-7s. For this configuration is the double ugly configuration, having asymmetric configuration. That for a good friend, I see you. I see you. I see you, James Bond, right now. I see you. Of course, I'm very interested to also check the loadout for the 16s. Oh, by the way, just for you to go, I did not tell you this. Oh, wait. More interesting things are coming. Important notice. First missile of the match. Valhalla sending a missile downrange Angels around mile 17. And seems to be coming into the right side. It's trailing right. Seems to be going into good friend James Bond over here. So of course, let us check the. Oh, this is not working. Wait, it's not working. This. Is this not working? Yeah, it's working. Sorry, my bad. So yes, we have the first missile of the round being sent downrange by Valhalla. Of course, let us ride with the missile. One more 120. Sorry, one more Phoenix coming downrange. Oh wait, I forgot to turn this one on. Sorry, my bad. Now it's working. So Valhalla have this. That's Phoenix is still tracking, coming in hot into ICU. Of course, King Crab has sent a Phoenix downrange into 996, and we'll get to see those missiles connect. We are having the missile sent downrange by Bahakila. Did I butcher that name before? Once again? Oh freaking gosh. So I see you coming in to defend that missile. And that was right also with 996 on the other camera, who is also going to defend. We have on this left camera, we have ICU, and the right camera we have 996 defended those missiles. We can see that both of them are pulling Gs, going to the ground, being sure that that missile does not connect at all. Of course, James Bond has managed to defend that one, is out going to around that missile, no worries whatsoever. 996 still. Yeah, we can see that the zone barrier is being broken right now. So that missile has been also evaded. We have 120s coming in hot from Mad Dog into Bluebird into the center area. Of course, right now still the guys of the Chinese Air Festival have not sent any missile whatsoever downrange. They are just waiting for the enemy opponent to waste those missiles and be sure that they have the utmost advantage possible regarding missile economy down the line. We have Bluebird, we have on the right camera, going to defend that scary scanning phone pole coming to him, but it's not tracking. So that unit is not tracking at all. First missile coming in hot from the Chinese Air Festival, sent from 707 downrange the line. We can see that right now the Chinese Air Festival are just holding the line over here, waiting for the Goonies to come and see what they are going to do. So far we've seen a few Phoenix downrange, and of course those are going to be as okay. Wait. We have a situation here. Bluebird have a Phoenix coming in hot, and that one might connect. Just right with the missile, because that one might connect. Still tracking. Are you going to run it? Bluebird, mate. Bluebird is going to be the first casualty of the match. So the Goonies are taking the first kill of the match. That's a great way to start your competitive experience, guys. Nice while. That's one. Let's see. Of course, now we have 996 going into the offensive situation. Sending 120 between. We have 996 on the right. Prime also going to defend. They are going to change some 120s. We have the Goonies on the left. Right, we have Chinese Air Festival defending missiles right now, as mentioned. Both of them seems to manage to defend that one easily. Both of them are going to run the missile. That no problem whatsoever. Now we have Bahakila on the southern area. Okay, coming into 007, coming in hot with the Phoenix downrange. And of course, this time, interestingly, we have King Crab is getting way off of the fight. It seems that he's just being sure that he has an energy and good position for later down the right. And 07, James Bond is going to defend as hard as possible, trying to defend that missiles. Let me see, I get the missile on camera. Okay, that's a kill, guys. We have another new casualty. So Chinese Air Festival are coming down. Okay, and we have the first casualty for the Goonies. Sorry, I did not get that one on camera. We have that's it from the Goonies is being taken down right now. Okay, we have the situation. We have a 4 on 4. Okay, I missed something, guys. I'm sorry. I did miss something. We have the 2 Tomcats. Something has happened. I did not notice. Still, sorry, guys. Nevertheless, let us continue. So we have 4 or 5 coming into the merge soon enough. I don't know if he knows that Mad Dog is in front of him right now. No, so 4 or 5 is going up south. We have 007 sending us as SC10 downrange. Brian sending a 120 towards 405, but he's going to defend the one. So Mad Dog seems to not be knowing that a missile is coming his way. Let us check, because I think that he's going to be killed by this one. Missile is still tracking. SC10 is still tracking. And that's going to be a kill for sure. Mad Dog is the next casualty of the fight, gents. So of course now we have 7 to 1 pushing south. We have the Tomcat, well, Bahakila coming into the fight, but 007 is coming in hot, sending those SD10s downrange. He's putting them into very, very good use as we've been seeing so far. And that might be a kill if Bakahila does. Oh, Bakahila's struggling with the Tomcat there, trying to defend as hard as he can. But in the northern part, we have 4-5 that is being trailed, but a scary phone pole coming his way. Plus Clove pushing in with the 18 Tomcat, with the 18 Hornet. So we have, right now we have a 3-on-4, 3 guys for the Goonie side, and 4 guys for the Chinese festival side. So Prime is pushing hard, very, very alone. Bahakila is pushing hot, but we have 7-1 coming in hot, trying to defend him. But let me ride with 996 this is the camera, because I'm pretty sure we are going to see a launch soon enough for him towards Prime, and we have a Fox 1 missile downrange. 7-1, but Bahakila is going to have to defend that missile very, very hard. Okay, Bahakila has been taken down. I repeat, Bahakila is down. Prime is being taken down. Prime is also a casualty of the fight, and now we have a 4-on-1 situation. I repeat, 4-on-1. King Crab is coming back into the fight right now after a long time being spent on the northwest area of the fight. So now the Chinese Air Festival seems to be Chinese Festival, sorry. I keep on saying Chinese Air Festival. As usual, I butcher my names. I'm sorry, guys. That's my thing. It's not a thing I love doing, but nevertheless. So we have the Chinese guys are just waiting for King Crab to come into the fight. Because let me check the missile count for King Crab. Because he's... oh, sorry. My bad. So last finish from King Crab being sent downrange to the Chinese Air Festival. Chinese Festival, guys. Well, that missile is doing his weekly thing as per usual. You know, Eagle Dynamics and the missiles for the top, and some missiles are not that great of a thing. The finish is not sinking that often like this, so it's not a problem. But nevertheless, sometimes those are very funky things here and there. So 996 coming in to getting to receive that missile. Let us try with the missile, shall we? And see if he managed to defend that one. Because that one is not tracking. I repeat, that one is not tracking. So King Crab is down to Fox 1s and Fox 2s. And he now has to push hard and be sure that the missiles that he still has do count. 4-5 coming in hot, sending 2-120 down the range. Of course, 7-1 pushing in hot. Also, King Crab is trying to defend as fast and hard as he can. But of course, being the single airplane alive for the Goonie side will not make things easy for him. Is 120 might connect? Is trailing? Is this? That's a kill, gents. That's a kill. So good friends from China, Chinese Festival, and we have, okay, those missiles are still being sent downrange. Okay, these guys really want to make sure that Tomcat is dead. very good fight for both teams. I'm very surprised to see that the Goonie side are holding up way better than I expected to. For yes, let me check, because of course the Chinese guys they are not used to the format. Of course they have a few doubts. RTB to your home base after you have control of the area. You have control of the area as notified by this script on the top right corner right now. Okay. Let me do a fast check. I'll inform you to rejoin. You can rejoin. Yeah. I'll start the server once. Okay, sorry, I was just checking with doing a bit of work with the guys to be sure that they know that they can rejoin now that they have lost for the Gunis side, and the Chinese to know that they have to they do have and can RTB for sure. But let's check what we have while we wait for them to come back. Let me check the remaining weaponry because this is going to be interesting. So 996 carrying a 120 and 2 heaters to 721 carrying the ACM. And remember, this tournament is pilots can and should use jam pods if they want. They can use ACM, no worries whatsoever, except the Tomcat, which his jammer is not working correctly, and it's the only one which has been banned. So 71 carrying only 2 heaters coming home. 405 carrying nothing at all, empty. Oh, that was a close one for sure. And 07 carrying the jammer pod and the 2 heaters. So that's going to be the lineup for the guys returning home. And now, of course, for you to remember, they have to go back into Moth Dog. Teams have to RTB. I repeat, teams have to RTB once they do, once they clear the area. Of course, that's going to, once our good friends from China do land, that's going to signify the victory for their first round for them. So guys, we all were very interested to know how the Chinese team is going to perform. That's the utmost incognito. That's the more obscure team. It's been long time for them to join into any kind of tournament, and no one know anything about them at all. So no one really knew which kind of airplanes were going to be getting into the fight. No one did know, and that's something we all wanted to know what's going on. What were you expecting, guys? Were you expecting them, the friends from China, to win the fight? Were you expecting the Goonies to take the first victory of the round? I want to know all of your thoughts, guys. Now, of course, while we wait for them to get out of the bubble and into the runway, they still have a 55 miles out flight. Let me do a fast recap of what has been going on, okay? Shall we? So, we've seen both teams. Let me do this way, better. So, we've seen that both teams have decided, of course, after this fight, both teams should really be switching sides. Just for all you to know, this is a best of 3 fight. That means that both teams will be switching sides until both teams win 2 fights, not consecutive fights, just 2 fights, okay? And that means that we'll be seeing at least 1 more fight, possibly 2. And by the way, guys, after the fight, we will be interviewing both teams. Both teams have agreed to have a small interview with us. And of course, after that, we will be checking the tag views from the server, and we'll be analyzing in more detail what has happened during the fight. But until then, let me do a bit of fast check on the situation over here, okay? So, our good friends over at Goonies did get into the bubble, more or less. All of them came together, more or less. We saw initially. We saw the Tomcats were hanging over this area, on the westernmost area, hanging there, sending missile down range, and at miles 750 and 70 into the Chinese festival lines over this area. But of course, they did manage to defend all those missiles, and so far the start of the fight didn't happen, and they didn't have any casualty whatsoever. Afterwards, we saw that Chinese festival did decide to hold the line over this area, more or less, and wait for the Goonies to come and spend some important Fox 3 missiles on them on the start of the fight. Of course, we saw that the first casualty was in the Chinese festival side. And of course, having the first casualty might get you in a very, very, very tight spot if not managed correctly. But the Chinese managed to pull back from the loss and managed to win the fight. Of course, there have been a few misses down there that we've lost, as in I could not get them on camera, so we'll need to check them afterwards in the tactical analysis to really understand what has going on during the fight in that middle part. And you'll see that this kind of tournament gens, all the fight happens in around 3 to 10 minutes of time, and I mean it, 3 to 10 minutes time, and you get all the action on the tournament, on the round there, all clumped together. That's short of a notice. So of course afterwards we saw, this is something I want to ask the guys of Goonies afterwards. I see one of the Tomcats pulling away out to this area, and very soon in the fight, I mean, the other Tomcat was fighting the Chinese guys over this area, and he was alone. The other Tomcat got him alone, and the other Tomcat went south. I do recall now. Sorry, the other Tomcat came south to face a good friend, James Pond, on the southern area, and the other Tomcat went way too far away and to be any kind of threat to the Chinese festival lines. But we'll see afterwards how this goes, because I do think that the Goonies will use this opportunity to say, okay, these things have not gone as we planned, so we need to check what has been going on. And I'm sure they will be coming back with a new tactic to try to get the victory home this second time. And of course, I'm going to do a round of shoutouts for all you guys. So of course, let me double check. A5077265550. Thank you for the follow. Also the same for WT Wally, that has started to follow me before the stream. And of course, as mentioned before, 51st Jambo coming in with 10 gifted subscriptions. That's very much appreciated, my friend. And Dr. Brecky, and Tirakilo 119 and Ashkal23 coming in with the follows. And all you guys, thank you. I hope that you are enjoying so far the tournament. And guys, did you know anything about SATAC before? I mean, I do know that many of you guys did know about SATAC, but this time they managed to outperform themselves. You can see that the visuals they prepare for us, for the streamer, is top notch. Not only that, but they have such a big lineup of partners for the sponsors. Sorry, for the fight. We have Eagle Dynamics, we have Magnitude 3, we have Headblur, we have TACView, we have Lotte DC, we had Rathband. So we have the top guys of this everything, and they are here with us being sponsors, and that's something very nice to see. You know, not so often that we see such a good lineup of sponsors putting their confidence on the SATAC team that is making this tournament possible for us to enjoy, and being sure that this is working. And you, Perro Official, welcome, my friend. Because we have the guys of a Chinese festival just getting to the runway. Let me prepare. Oh, sorry, this should be seen while I do the work on the cameras. Off camera, of course, not on camera. Oh, I'm feeling rusty, really. I need to stream a few more matches to get up to speed as per usual. Jambo have never heard of the SATAC tournament. Oh well, not being an organizer of one of them, I not know about them. Good. That would be a scary thing you didn't know about your own tournament, mate. But nevertheless, let me check the F10 camera for a sec. So we have 405 coming hot over the final lineup run for the active runway. On Botdock runway 08, we see him on the right camera coming in far away, but still on this glide slope. Also we have 996 with the 18 coming in hot to lining up with the runway, and I'm pretty sure we are going to see him overtaking the 16. We'll see, because he's going very fast and no gear down, no brakes. Of course, as mentioned, guys, the victory comes once one of them, not the entire team, one of them lands on the runway safe and secure. So I'm pretty sure we are just we are seeing on the left camera, we are seeing 996 and following 405, which is on final approach, and he's just waiting for his good friend to land. Of course, overtaking him and waiting for him to land. It seems that they are going to be for the safe route, being sure that at least one of the guys is down and controlling the runway. No, wait, they are going to... He's overtaking his friend. Oh gosh. Nevertheless, once we have wheels down, that will be declared, and of course down the runway and in control, we'll see that we will be declaring the victory for Chinese Festival this first round. Okay, so of course we have 996 coming in too hot. A bit too hot, yes. A bit of drift, perfect. How could you not land with a nice drift to declare your first victory, the first round victory? Come on, that's the best way of finishing any kind of, of fight. So of course we have to declare the first round victory for the Chinese Festival, guys. And this is round 1 victory for Chinese Festival. So guys, as mentioned, we will be going back to the post. We will be restarting the... You have a belly landing? Yeah, we do have a belly landing over there. 7-1 have decided, okay, I don't want to care with getting my my shield down. You do you, guys, mates. Sorry. So guys, we are going to restart the server, and of course stay tuned, we'll be back in a sec. guys, now we are back. Sorry for the delay. I was getting everything sorted out on my side for this round 2. So I'm going to present you guys now the teams, and what's going on. So of course we have on the top camera we have the Goonies just on the runway, getting everything ready, starting to taxi in just a few moments. We can see they are all of them getting ready. On the bottom camera we have the Chinese festival already taxiing and getting everything sorted out for this second round of SATAC. Sorry, I'm used to SATAC. Sorry, for SATAC 2021 tournament. Of course, for you to know, guys, the lineup of airplanes is final once you take off on the first round. That means that both teams have to go with exactly the same airplanes from now onwards during this fight, the entire fight, okay? What does it mean? That both teams know that the airplanes that the enemies are going to be using, and of course the usual thing is that both teams are not going to be changing the pilot lineup now that they are everything that they have the guys sorted out and working. That means that more or less they know the level of the pilot that they've seen in this first round, and they more or less now can expect what's going to be happening now onwards for this round 2. But I'm very interested to see, because I mean we've seen a very good fight for good friends over Goonies, the 420th. My English today, really. With the Goonies on the left camera right now. Now they are taking over Mothdock. Now they are taking on Mothdock, the Goonies, and Chinese Air Festival is taking off from the other side, which is Sochi Adler. As mentioned, of course, we will be doing once again a lineup, a shout out for all the pilots involved in this fight today, and checking out who's who and who's flying what. So all of you guys get to know them a bit better. And of course, you will get to know them way more and better afterwards when we have the interview with both teams after the fight. So we are just waiting for both teams to taxi a lineup. We have the Chinese that are almost all of them ready. Just waiting for, we are just seeing the last 2 airplanes starting to roll up and getting ready for the taxi. And we have on the other camera, we have the Goonies now entering the runway. Of course, our good friends organizers from 51st Key Up and 100th Key Up. No, I always mix this up. 51st PVO Regiment. They have put up a mission file with a bit of scenery for all of us to enjoy them, while we get them taxiing all around. That's a nice touch as a difference. I do like it, for sure. So let us check the guys lining up over runway and see if they are almost ready, as we can see that they are. So Chinese Air Festival on the left camera taking off from Mothdock, we were discussing before. They are going to... Sorry, Chinese Air Festival? No, sorry, you have the left camera, we have the Goonies. Sorry, I mixed it up. On the right camera we have the Chinese Air Festival that are almost ready. The Goonies are ready on runway, and we are just waiting for the Chinese guys to be ready on runway. And we'll be starting the round 2 of today's fight. So what are your guess, guys? Who do you think will win round 2? And of course, more importantly, even more important, who do you want to win? We all have our favorites, and I want to know yours. So tell us, guys, while we wait for the teams to finish lining up over the runways to start. And of course, guys, please, I know and I hope that you are checking the both streams right now. Check both streams. Going. SATAC. There you go. Of course, you will be hearing me 1 minute after I put the message on chat. Sorry, that's it. You have to have delay to be sure that everything is working correctly and no foul play is being involved. Of course, we are trusting all the teams to be fair and square without any kind of problem. And I know there won't be any kind of problem whatsoever. So there, you click that link, you will be able to see both streams going in right now for today's match. We have one of the organizers, Breakshot, doing the stream of the other team, which is, and I'm going to check because I always forget my teams and everything. Oh gosh, my mind will someday will work. Someday, but not today, I'm afraid. So of course, Breakshot is streaming in Sky, which is the other Chinese team participating in SATAC against VTAF. So guys, if you are checking the other stream, please tell me in chat how the other team is going. I want to know. I'm very interested to know how it's going on the other side. Oh, sorry. My bad. There. Yeah, but just being sure that everything is working correct on the camera and both cameras. Okay, and we are just waiting for the Chinese to have the last airplane line up on the runway, and we will be starting round 2, guys. I'm very interested to know how it's going to play out. I mean, we've seen the Goonies did manage to pull off the first part of the fight, as in taking the first casualty, but afterwards they did fall into the Chinese Chinese festival tactic of prolonging the fight. And I'm interested to see if the Goonies are going to be able to. Okay, sorry guys, both teams are ready. We are going to start the countdown. We are going to start the countdown, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! Round 2 is legends. Let's go and see how it's going to come on top of this second round on SATAC 2021. In Sky 1 first round. That's interesting. I know that VTAF is not a bad squadron for sure. They know what they do, and they know what they are doing. Round 2 is live. I think that they did not read the chat, so I was just making them that they did know for sure. Of course, this first round. So round 2 is going to be about to go live. So more or less, both streams are just exactly at the same time. That's perfect. That's something I love to see. That we have both streams more or less synchronized, and you all guys get to watch live what's going on in both of them. I know that Breakshot is going to be using a lot of ATC as a live lot of ATC during the match, and that's something I want to see how it goes and see if it's better than the F10 view that we are using usually for the streams in my case, and we will implement that if that's the case. And if not, well, we'll keep on running with exactly the same format we have right now for the rest of the match of the tournament, unless I feel like doing a bit spicy change here and there. We'll see. But of course, we all want to know your feedback, as in, you like the stream? Something that you think is not correct? Just feel free to comment. Of course, my good friend and fellow interior designer Tech did mention that he's liking the stream format and the transitions, and that's something I very appreciated. Okay guys, so both teams are airborne right now, as you can see. Okay, sorry. Yeah, let us check how is going on with both teams once again. So this time seems like we went a bit different though. We have coming from Mothdoc, as mentioned. We have in this situation we have Baja Killa and King Crab plus the Rios, who are, let me check. Baja Luna is the Rio for Baja Killa, and Cheno 426 is the Rio for King Crab. Coming into the first pack of the group, being followed by Prime and Mad Dog in the 18, sorry. Being followed afterwards by Barn Corn Muffin, and being trailed by Dead Seed, just taking over Mothdoc. Of course, Chinese festival, in this case they are spreading out very differently. and are deciding to go with a bit of a different formation. 707 going in directly into the bubble. We can see, let me get a bit this more zoom out so you know how things are going on. So 707 going directly to the pulse, to the bubble, a bit to the left, being followed by James Bond. I see you, James Bond, and Bluebird taking the northern area, and 721, 405, and 996. I'm sorry guys, I cannot pronounce Chinese names even if I want to. Someday I might learn Chinese, but not today, I'm afraid. Too soon for the stream, and too much of a short notice. So it seems that we are going to see more or less the same tactic deployed. I mean, yes, the Goonies have decided to bring the Tomcats first, and we are seeing, okay? So I do expect to see from them once again a long-range shot. That's what I do expect to see. But we'll see how it goes, and that's going to be very interesting to see how they decide to defend. Because we see that the good friends of the Goonies have decided to go with a very high altitude fly once again. We have then over Angel 32 going up. All the team. I mean, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The 6 members of the team have decided to take off and go as high as possible to put the topmost energy possible into the missile to be sure that Phoenix, that scary foam pole, managed to reach the opposing team on the other side of the bubble. Because as mentioned, the Tomcats can and in fact do send missiles downrange around miles 50 to 80 depending on the kind of missiles and the situation, of course. But of course, that's not the only team that had decided to start climbing and go to the fight. We can see that the Chinese festival, in this case, all of them have decided to stay more or less same. I mean, I'm checking. No, not all of them. Sorry. 707 is Angel's 40 right now, full burner, being sure that put good energy into the aircraft. 007 Angels 20, 21 for Bluebird, 23 for 996, 24 for 405, and 25 for 721. So these guys are holding a less high altitude, and therefore they are just saving fuel, and not by the altitude itself, but they are not pushing hard into the burner and being sure that they have altitude as soon as possible and being as fast as possible, except 707. And that's very interesting. I want to know why 707 decided to push that hard 17, because that's going to be an interesting one to know for sure. I mean, we know that the Tomcats are going to try and shoot downrange as far as possible. Yeah, yo, welcome my friend. You've missed the first round that was being won by Chinese Festival. And so far, that's all. We are just starting round 2. So you just come on the nick of time to really appreciate what's going on. We'll see if the Chinese Festival guys do take the win for this round 2, and therefore take the win of the entire tournament, or the entire match, sorry, or they will take the lose on round 2, and the Goonies will come on top, and we will be going to round 3 fights for today. We'll see. That's something I want to check and see how it goes. Sorry. So we have on the top camera, we have the Goonies flying at Angels 40, so they are really taking the high altitude entry into account, and they really want to put missiles down range being very high altitude. That's something not so also often see. This is a difference. We've seen that Bahagila is taking the southern side, now it's turning south and leaving King Crab on the northern area together with Corn, Muffin, that's it. And the center area is being taken by Prime and Mattock. We can see right now on the camera. On the other side, the Chinese Festival. Well, I'm keeping saying Chinese Festival. Come on. Oh gosh, me and my English. So we see that the Chinese Festival guys are deciding to keep it a bit lower, and around Angels 20 to 25, they're just entering the bubble. Or in this case, We have 707, that is the exception, who is taking Angels 40, and the rest of the guys are over Angels 20 for 007, 30 for Bluebird, 26 for 721, 27 for 996, and 26 for 405. Of course, they are taking a more standard configuration, separating themselves into different flights, 3 on the left, 3 on the right. The left flight is being separated by 13 miles front to back, and 3 miles spread. The right group is being separated front to back 60 miles, and the spread is very little, also 3 miles. And let me check the formation once again for the Goonies. The original spread is 23 miles. That means it's going to be a bit harder for them to cooperate. Of course, they are in the range where they can help each other out if they so need. That's not going to be that much of a problem right now for them. And of course, we can see that these two 18s are very close together, pushing in hot. Of course, they mentioned they are just spreading apart 25 miles out spread, and longitudinal one they are 18 miles apart. So yeah, round 2 is going to start in a sec, guys. As in, missiles are going to come down flying in just a few moments, as you all know. And it does seem that me and my screens are not being are a bit hard to manage today. There you go. So we have 707 at Angel 42. Gosh, that's a lot. And that's a lot. I do think that these guys, the Chinese festival, want to do a vertical separation between the flights to be sure to put things harder for the Tomcats and the Rios, because then the Tomcats have to decide, okay, which one do I want to track? The high one, which is 707 in this case, or do I want to track James Bond, ICU for us, for the rest of us with there. So that's a decision that right now the King Crab Rio, who is Sheno, has to take and decide, because he's flying an Angel 44. Right now he's not using burner, but he will be preparing for a launch petition of we are arriving into distant. Okay, as you can see the first missile out from King Crab, trailing left. That means that he's going to be going for 707. You can see that, of course, that's going to be an Alpha Mike 60. That you can know that because of the smoke trail. All the Alpha missiles do have that big smoke trail, and it's very easily seen downrange if you don't know what's going on. Okay, this is an interesting one. You can see that the 707 is Negawatt. Thank you for the follow. Welcome. Just come on the nick of time to start enjoying the fight. You can see that 707 has also sent SD10 towards King Crab, and I am very curious to see which one will win. Will it be the scary Skenny? Okay, 2 missiles out from King Crab. Remember, guys, that our good friends only have a total of 4 Fox 3 missiles. That's all. So Bahakila also on the south, putting down range all the missiles, and I repeat, all the missiles. That's a commitment, guys. He's committing very hard to put in downrange those missiles, and that might come and beat him in the back if he doesn't manage to take down at least one of the guys. Of course, as you can see that the 996, who we have on camera, on the right camera right now, just going in for the notch, is just notching those missiles and just taking his time. That's not going to be any problem whatsoever for him. But the only part is that 405, who we have here, might be a different story altogether. Tell me something. What has gone on? Okay, well, the guys from Chinese festival has disconnected. Okay, 707 has disconnected. I think he has gotten a disconnect for the server. Unlikely. That means that the Chinese guys are going to be 3, 4, 5. So they are running with one less guy than the good friends from the Goonies, and therefore they are currently in a disadvantage. But we'll see if they do manage to come back from that big of a disadvantage. So far, they are making a very good play. Bluebird might take a hit there with that scary phone pole. That's going to be a scary one if it's still tracking, which is not tracking. So far so good. Of course, we see that Bahakila doesn't have any more Phoenix at all. So he's just an airplane with only 2 hitters and two Fox 1s, as you can see here right now. So therefore, those scary Phoenix are out of play right now, and therefore he's not that much of a hassle compared to when he had the scary Phoenix. Of course, we now see that the northern area for the Goonies is very free right now, and that's why all the northern area group is coming into the southern area. King Crab sending a Phoenix downrange, hopefully, because that one is going into a very weird direction. Let me check the missile, okay, to see what's going on, because I don't really know who's tracking, if it's tracking, because it's not tracking at all. Okay, wait, I did miss that one. I almost missed this one, defending that missile. Bahakila has managed to defend that missile just in almost being killed on the moment. Of course, now he's in a very hard position right now. You can see he's going to defend 2 missiles from 996 and 011, and that's going to connect. Okay, that's a kill for 996. So we have the first casualty for the Goonie side, but of course, Glove is trying to punish the Chinese guys for coming in hot and taking the Tomcat live. Let's check if that missile is going to be connecting or not. Because 007 sending a missile downrange is going to defend vertically, trying to outrun the 120 coming in hot into him, trying to notch, and still he's managed to notch the missile on the nick of time. But Mad Dog is going to be the one we have on the left camera. That's a third kill for 007 and Prime. Will he manage to defend that one? No, that's a kill. Oh gosh, we have 2 casualties from the Goonie side in just a few moments. Of course, that's not all. We still have the Chinese coming into the northern area. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on 3 situation. I repeat, guys, 5 on 3. So the Chinese have managed to take down 3 of the opponents when they were just 1 guy below. Okay, that's another kill. Oh gosh, this run is going fast. That's it. They're going to be a kill too. Okay, that's it. Managed to defend that missile. King Crab is alone here trying to survive. Let me check with him. King Crab sending his last Phoenix downrange, trying to be sure that puts it into good use. Now going for the defensive maneuvers. He knows that 405 has managed to launch a 120 towards him. That's going to be a 30 miles out 120 from 405. Phoenix is not tracking, guys. So that last Phoenix is not tracking at all. That's it is trying to help King Crab, who is right now coming in cold as hard as he can, trying to outrun the 120s being sent his way. But of course, his Bluebird, who has been pincered on the middle, just going to try to defend that 120 sent, but that's it. We'll see, he managed to defend the one. Of course, Bluebird puts 1 missile downrange, and that's a kill for that seat. But of course, King Crab we have on the right camera right now is trying to defend, and that's going to be a kill. Okay, so that's a kill from beyond, guys. A kill from the dead. And that's it. He's going for the merge right now. On the left camera, we can see, and that's going to connect. So, guys, okay, will 07 defend that one? Yes, he will defend that heater. Okay, guys, so that's going to be the victory for Chinese Festival if they manage to land on the enemy airbase, which I think they will. This fight has not been that much of a prolonged fight. and therefore they do have the fuel to go back RTB without any kind of problem. So now we can see that they are just putting some missiles downrange for whatever reason, saving a bit of I mean, if you have missiles, well, why not use them, even just for fireworks? Yes, Chinese festival did put a very good fight. I mean, they were not the most the teams that no one knew what's going to be happening at all. Like really no one did knew. So all of us were very expecting to know what's going to be happening so far in this tournament, because we don't know about them. We do know they have a lot of experience in DCS. They are a 10-year-old team, one of the first Chinese communities to appear in China, of course. That's why Chinese. Okay, today I'm spot on. Oh freaking gosh. Was one of the oldest teams in China regarding DCS, together with InSky, who is fighting against VTAF in the stream by Breakshot today. Of course, you can check both streams once again there, if you want to have both streams at once. So you can use that if you want to, gents. If you want to. So let us do an overall check of the resources remaining from Chinese side, okay? Tennis festival side. Of course, I see you, my good friend James Bond. It's two heaters and two Fox ones. He had just sent down range, and we've seen 996. Oh, he's carrying plenty. Did he fire at all? Yes, he did fire at 120. So 996 only have used 120, and everything else he still have it. So remaining 2 Fox 1s, 3 Fox 3s, and 2 Fox 2s. 721 with the jammer pot. Still remaining the 2 120s, 2 heaters, and that's all. And 405, seeing that he's still having too many missiles for his state, sending downrange 2 AIM-9s and 1 120, and that's what they're running for that. No, by the way, they have to go RTB. That means that once you win the round, you have to RTB to your airport. Okay, I repeat, to your airport. Unless I did fuck something up, that's the way to go. I did check the rule set before, and I recalled it being like that. If it's not like that, nevertheless, I'll talk with the organization, because that might be my fault. But of course, remember that the teams do change sides. I remember, okay? So Chinese did start as red over this airfield, over Mothdock on the round 1. On round 2, they did take off from the other airbase, which is Sochi, on the coast area. And in this case, and both cases, they have to RTB, okay? So this time they are coming into Sochi. Now, will take a bit of time, but of course we see that 405 is confident on his fuel, and is burning fuel like a madman, trying to secure the victory ASAP, and go enjoy some beers. Of course, an interesting thing for today's match. This is updated details of being an international map, international tournament altogether. Is that for the Chinese is around 6. For me, Spaniard. I'm on GMT +1. Around, I'm a Spaniard. So for right now, for me is 5:30 p.m. Okay, in my case. For China, is around 6 hours later. So it's almost midnight for them in this case, and in the case for the Goonies, I know for some of them they are over the morning. So I mean, I was having my meal when the Chinese were having their dinner, and some of the Goonies were having breakfast. That's an interesting thing for sure. That's a very interesting thing for sure to see when we see this kind of international fights all together. And that's something I love seeing, for sure. All the international community coming together and enjoying something together. That is, in this case, this tournament put together by first 51st PVO regiment with 100 key up. Putting this together for all of us to enjoy and see these amazing fights between these teams from all over the globe. I mean, we are seeing teams from America, Europe, up to China, and I think that's all. I don't. Oh no, I think we had some teams from Australia. I kind of recall, not 100% sure though. 100% sure, but that's something we could check afterwards if you want to. So yeah, quite interesting one. Of course, let us do a bit of recap while we wait for them to land. In this round 2, I was a bit more warm up. So you guys, it's been a few weeks with me not doing any stream whatsoever. And I've managed to notice it too much. I was struggling a bit to get everything sorted out on my side. Sorry guys. So first round we did miss some kills. In round 2, I think we got all of them on camera, even if we left them out. So let's do a first recap. So Chinese side, we saw them spreading apart as first round, taking a very spread pattern over the area of combat. Therefore, they had very nice opportunity to just turn left, right, and side. They did. It's led to keep things separated. Of course, the Goonie side, 420s, 420s, they decided to have one of the Tomcats to the north and the other Tomcat to the south. And interestingly, that's something that is very interesting to see, that the southern Tomcat, which that was the name I was butchering left and right. I don't recall that one now. Sorry guys, I'm very bad with names. I know that. Someday I will manage to get over my problem with the names. Nevertheless, we'll check afterward with Tavi, okay? We saw the Tomcat over the southern area sending the 6 Phoenix downrange. The 6, I'm useful 6. The 4 of the Phoenix downrange at once over the southern area and not taking any kill whatsoever. And that's a pity. When you commit that hard to a Tomcat and sending those many missiles downrange, you want to take 1 or 2 guys with you. Because Fox ones, of course, they have good missiles, but they don't have the reach. They don't have the reach as a Phoenix at all. And those Phoenixes, more so when you have only 4 of them per aircraft, those are very important ones. And you have to be sure that every feed that you send downrange, you have to be sure you put them to good use. Of course, we saw afterward that the Chinese did clump all them together over this area and decide to hold here and have the Goonies push into the north and south. Of course, we saw that the Chinese did have a disconnect over this area. That's a pity. 1-on-1. Okay, be tough and inside are tight. That's an interesting one. Of course, guys, in this case, we don't have any more fights together for today. But okay. Oh, sorry, guys, I did not notice that two good friends from the Chinese festival. Oh, freaking gosh, did land. I was so engrossed doing that recall of the entire fight that we missed the landing. We're going to declare the victory for the Chinese festival on this round 2. Of course, that's going to be the second round win by them, and therefore that will signify the victory for them on this SATAC 2021 first fight between Chinese festival and 420th Goonies. Of course, guys, as mentioned, this is not the end of the stream. I repeat, this is not the end of the stream. We will be going with an interview with both teams in just a few minutes, and afterwards we will be checking the server, the tag views, and do more in-depth debrief with what has been going on and whatnot, which is going to be lots of a very interesting one. So I will be telling the teams that we are going to stop the server and we will be going to interview, okay? So stay tuned and see you back in a few moments. Okay, guys, now we are back once again, and in this case, we are together with, on the left side of the screen, we have Bluebird from Chinese Festival. Please say hi.
Hi guys, nice to meet you.
And in the middle, we have Born Corn Muffin from the Goonies of 420th Air Goons.
Hello, Internet.
Hello, everyone. And of course, me, myself, the writer here. So first and foremost, congratulations are in order for our good friends of the Chinese Festival who have declared themselves the victors of this first fight on SATAC 2021.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yes, congratulations, guys! You fought really well, and we were happy to have flown against you. Thank you for showing up, and also thank you to the 51st for hosting this. This is kind of our first foray into organized PvP, so we're learning a lot as we go, and we're thankful for the opportunity to be here and fight you guys.
So of course, we all know that me myself, I do not have that much of experience of PvP tournaments, and I know very recently, I mean, half a year of the experience of getting into a PvP tournament altogether. So of course, I know that first fight is very tense one, and things happen. It's normal, but you just build from that as usual. And the tournament is a long one. We still have, if I recall correctly, 1 month down the line to get for more fights, and you have more than enough time to improve and get everything sorted out. No worries about that, and just take your time with that, really. This is just the first step of building a team, and I mean that because our team DCW, the first fight we had, we did lose, like not taking any enemy at all. You did take some enemies from Chinese Festival, and that's a huge thing, really. The good friends from Chinese Festival, I've seen them flying, and they do know what they are doing, and they are a 10-year-old team, so they are forced to reckon for sure. You did great, mate, really.
Thank you.
Yeah, sometimes the team is too old. It's not a great thing because you have to maintain the technology of the whole team. To be honest, we are quite nervous. Especially when we saw you guys fly the F-14s. We don't know how to deal with the Phoenix, so that's quite scary. The single shining on your RWR. Yeah.
Yeah, of course, the Phoenix, we all know that that's scary missile. And that's something I wanted to ask you and your team, Burncorn. I saw the Tomcat on the southern part, also in the second round. I saw that he did launch the 4 Phoenix at once, and I think that maybe he's not used to this kind of environment, or you were expecting something with that?
So I think the first round. So we had to pull some last minute alternates with some people who were not practicing, who were kind of late, who were late to our practices to ramp up. So we gave a quick briefing beforehand and threw them into the deep end of the pool. But for the second round, it was determined that we wanted to fight a little more aggressively. So I think a big part of the 4 missiles that went, or a big part of the strategy into the second round is we wanted to get more missiles into the air, be a lot more aggressive, force China Festival to be more defensive so that we'd have more time to capitalize on that. Didn't quite work out as well as we hoped, but that's okay. You guys did great. But yeah, we'll be looking over the definitely looking over the TAC views that you guys have provided us post match, and we'll be doing our own little debrief internally. And once that's done, we'll take our lessons learned and apply them to future matches.
And that's the way to go.
And personally, I think you throw all of your Phoenix at in the first round. I think that is quite effective because when we fight into the second round, the third round, the distance is becoming closer and closer. It will be harder and harder for the F-14s to find a target. And the first round is always the most important.
Yes, we were definitely hoping to. make the transition from BVR to WVR as easy on us as possible. But like I said, you guys dodged our missiles well, so it worked out for you guys.
Yeah, but in the second round, I have warned my teammates to defend the Phoenix, but RGF-17 still got shot.
Yeah, first round you did take the first Phoenix to the face, Chinese. I recall. I do recall for sure. Of course, having a disadvantage starting the fight, you had a disadvantage in both rounds, by the way. In the first round, you did take the first casualty, Bluebird, and the second round you did have a disconnect early in the round, which is a very big pity.
Yes,
How,
definitely.
sorry, how does come back from being at a disadvantage from the start to win the round? Because the mental side is very interesting for me in these kinds of competitions.
So I guess one of the most important part is that the distance between the enemies, is a little bit too far away. So we can do some in a short range, for example, the 10 nautical miles or 20 nautical miles, we can have an advantage. We can do three-way versus two, or we can do two versus one. And another thing is that the Phoenix is powerful, but on the other hand, when the Phoenix is focused, you can see the big white smoke. So we can be warned previously.
And that's something interesting because, of course, the two Tomcats, one of them was running with the A60s and the other one was running with the C14s, 47, sorry. And of course, that's the scary thing. When you expect a finish, you are looking for the smoke trail, but you don't see any smoke trail, then it's harder to defend. And this Phoenix is a very, very scary missile when you know how to employ that. I'm a real pilot myself, and I know more or less how it works. And I know the struggle to face an opponent with it.
So the A was actually a strategic decision because the A missile, so from the upgrade from the A to the C, the trade-off is that in order to gain that smokeless capability in the C, they lose some of their specific impulse. So the Cs actually have a slightly smaller range than the A. So we're hoping to capitalize on the A for their range in the initial round, and then as C follow-up shots were made, we could be a little bit more surprising with those.
Yeah, that's complicated for my experience, but of course that's something you get from experience. The Tomcat is a very scary platform, but it's very hard to pull off exactly perfectly in a perfect format. Nevertheless, I want to ask you both, in the case of Chinese festival, being a Chinese team that many of us haven't heard before because you've been into the PvP environment for a long time, but publicly not so lately. And I want to know, first Chinese festival and afterwards our good friends over Goonies, to know how you did prepare for this tournament.
Yeah, to be honest, I guess the most important part that we did is there are still many events in China. So to be honest, uh, we just keep practicing and one more important is that we need every member to know where he is, where the enemy is, and what you want to do. I guess these are most three important questions when you are flying. So we always try to training the team to understand these three questions wherever they are flying. Yeah.
Of course, we know that the situational awareness, that's the first step of being capable of winning a fight. In fact, I was very surprised to see in round one, when you had two of your pilots do a circle, a 360 turn, to position themselves where you wanted them both. And that was a very interesting thing to see. That tells me that you know what you want to deploy downrange and you prepare everything to the nitpick up to the most detail possible to be sure that you have the most advantage when you start fighting. And that's a thing that most experienced teams do know how to use and employ. And that's something with experience it comes, and it's not easily sorted out. So of course, burnt corn muffin. I want to hear from your side, guys. I'm very curious to
Yes.
see.
So as far as preparation that we do, first of all, as a community, so as you have stated on our intro, Airgoons we are based off of the Something Awful forums. That's where we recruit. That's where we pull our community, and we try to hold weekly PvE missions, large format, usually about 15 to 25 pilots. And so we're already used to coordinating larger packages. From that point, what we did was, in preparation for this competition in particular, we've had breakout PvP sessions where we just grab a few goons and throw them at each other and get people developing some of the habits that you need to learn when fighting against human pilots, like not expecting them to fly along brain dead like the AI does, but actually using the terrain to their advantage, or pre-cranking to avoid twist shots, and all of those good habits. So that was the bulk of our preparation specific to this competition, was just having some internal PvP matches. But overall, I mean, as far as like package coordination goes, that's a skill set. Like once you start flying with Airgoons, that's something we start building immediately, just by virtue of our weekly events.
Of course, that coordination is one of the main pillars. ASA, as the Bluebirds mentioned, and coordination. If you have them both, it's just a matter of flying good enough and waiting for the enemy to make enough mistakes. Of course, I want to switch some questions up for the one I have on the chat from 51st Jumbo for both of you. First for Bluebird, and secondly for Barncorn Muffin. He says for both you that he hopes that you are liking the competition so far, and I wants to question both of you. What do you think about having a 6v6 night scenario?
Oh, I think that's quite that got be very funny and interesting. So yeah,
I mean, I am 100% on board with it. Night scenarios, night weather scenarios, crap weather scenarios. Those are very challenging scenarios to fly in, and we've done our internal missions in the past, where sometimes we'll take a mission and remix it with night weather, and with night weather, nasty weather, and we'll find like the darkness or the clouds tend to ramp up the mission difficulty by so much. And I think I would definitely personally be on board with flying such a mission, just to see how it goes, because I enjoy chaos like that. But yeah, I would definitely be down to try such a thing.
And of course, I want to give my position on this too. Like, please do this on this tournament, like right now, please do so, because having nice PvP tournament, I think that's not something we've seen any time whatsoever in this story. And forcing the teams not to use the helmet mounts for the 16 and 18, which they rely heavily, is going to be a great thing to see how they do circumvent those problems. And of course, we'll be seeing other airplanes such as the JF-17, which doesn't have helmet, shine even more in this kind of scenario.
Yeah, I can definitely see that, where a lot of our aircraft that use helmet-mounted displays having to switch to NVGs. I think that becomes a very tactical decision in a night scenario, because sure, you could fly with your HMD, you could look around and do your thing at night, but you lose your goggles for it. and with no flair or anything, or with no like built-in flair or anything like the Harrier has, then it definitely ramps up the challenge factor and makes that decision all the more meaningful. And frankly, it just makes it more interesting.
So Jambo, please add. As a summary, please add, please.
Yeah. If I have to make a decision, I guess I'll prefer the HND because there are for 16s and 18s there are still it's just a personal opinion. First thing first. So I guess the HMD has a big advantage. No matter day weather or the night weather, we are still doing the BVR comeback. So we do not need to care too much about the scenario outside. Just to be careful, do not crash. Yeah.
Very important. We know that the squirrels take many lives of these kind of matches. Of course, the ground is the most dangerous enemy of them all. These kind of situations are more so at night. And of course, I think that the most important part having a night fight, it will be that no one is going to use helmet at MD to lock. So therefore, all we have to rely on visual ID and lock on the enemy targets, which will be a blast to see. It will be a very interesting one for sure. But we'll see. We'll see what the tournament's organizers decide. We'll see. We'll see. Of course, it will make things harder for us streamers. Well, we'll find a way for sure. We'll find one.
Yes, it's just like a sea level. The sea in the DCS, it looks like a mirror. So
Yeah.
you cannot handle your attitude so well, and just crash. Yeah.
But of course, guys, I don't want to take much of your time. So far, I don't have any more questions from the chat. So I want to end this with two parts. First part, I would love to hear from Bluebird and your team at Chinese Festival and give any kind of feedback for good friends over Airguns. And of course, on the other side, because when you see the enemy opponent from your side, you see errors, and and this way you can help each other to improve your team for the upcoming fights.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, and one tips. Yeah, I find there is a mistakes in the map, so I guess we can talk later privately.
Mistakes in the map.
In fact, it's the waypoint of the airplane, the JF-17.
Oh.
The waypoint of the blue side and the red side, there's some kind of mistake.
Okay, then no, it's good thing that you pointed it out. Talk later with Rich, and he will sort it out. Okay.
Yeah, but it's acceptable. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, luckily you managed to get it sorted out. But do you have any kind of feedback for good friends over Goonies or not?
Pardon?
So, sorry, do you have faced our good friends 420 Goonies, and do you have any kind of tip you can give them to improve their team level for the upcoming matches?
Oh, yeah, got it. Yeah, in fact, yes. During the second round, I saw two of your F18s, slow and high, but close to your enemy. So personally, I guess you should pay more attention to the situation awareness of the battlefield. So slow and high and close, which is kind of dangerous.
Right. Thank you.
And of course, Barncar Murphy, you have something to send Bluebird his way. That would be awesome too.
Oh, I mean, I'll try, but I mean, you guys did. So one thing that we noticed is, and actually going to ask you that. We noticed that you would send like one guy forward and then they would turn away immediately. Is that intentional, or was that guy intended to be bait for us?
Ah, I I don't remember that pretty so clear, but I guess, yeah, it's my I guess, yeah,
Because
intentional.
that's one thing that's one thing we noticed is one guy was flying forward and kind of playing the bait and then pulling back, and then we thought we were trying to intentionally goad us into putting all of our shots on them. What we ended up doing is, I mean, when the F-14s went twiz on you, they just cycled between whatever targets were in range. But as far as what we saw, we noticed that your altitude. So we did notice that some of your altitudes were a bit low, which I think gave us energy advantage on a lot of our missiles. I think the Jeffs in particular. I mean, I think the Jeffs that got killed immediately, they would probably have survived better if they were either higher and maybe cranking a little more, or if they were just committing to ground terrain and just sneaking up and popping us from below.
Yeah, you notice that our attitude is not too high because we are afraid of the Phoenix.
Yes,
That's
and
quite simple. Yeah.
that was the point. We knew. I mean, F-14s have such a long range that in our practices we notice that whenever one of those comes out, everyone plays differently. So we knew when I checked availability and saw we had guys with F-14s, I was happy we were able to bring those particular toys out, because those aircraft change the game every time.
Yeah, exactly.
They definitely do.
And also, yeah, one thing as far as the tournament goes. I mean, one thing that occurred like right before this match, we actually over prepared a little bit. We had brought along a person to man the AWACS, because we were under the impression that there was the option to have an AWACS and it would only be required in the single elimination rounds. But we learned about 10 minutes before the competition kicked off, before this session kicked off, that in fact there is no human AWACS until the knockout elimination rounds. That's something we would have liked to have known a little earlier.
Yeah, I did check the rule sets and before the fight to be sure that I didn't say anything wrong to you guys in case I had to solve anything out. And I
Right.
didn't see that specifically set in there, but nevertheless, it's a good thing that you pointed out, because that means that but the rule of thumb is just ask. If you don't know or you're not sure, just ask. Of course, everywhere I do this in any kind of tournament situation. Be sure to ask all the times to be sure that you understand and you have everything clear. So these little details matter in these kind of situations, and of course, always it's a good thing to double check the rule set. And if you think that you are understanding things incorrectly, or you have some suppositions, just ask the organizers. I do that all the time. And in fact, I had a meeting before the stream with the organizers to be sure that we have everything sorted out correctly and we understand what things were going to be played out for today. That's the way to go. And of course, it's a good thing that you mention it, because now the 51st guys can go through the rule sets and be sure that everything is clarified correctly, and be sure to solve any kind of understanding that might be still in the rule set for the next matches.
Right.
But nevertheless, guys, I will close this up. Once again, congratulations to Bluebird on this first
Yes.
victory.
Congrats yet again.
Yes,
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Of
thank
course, the congratulations to you too, Barncorn Muffin and your team, for your first PvP experience. One of many to come, hopefully. You there? Oh,
Sorry. Say it again.
you did disconnect for a second. No worries.
Yeah.
Congratulations to you too, my friend, for
Oh,
your
thank you.
first
Thank you.
for your first participation on a PvP tournament. It takes some balls to do so, really, when you don't have that much of experience. But that's the way to go, really. Keep on going, and keep on working. That's the way to go. And hopefully we will be seeing each other many years from now.
Absolutely. And I do actually I am going to also call out my team. So the guys who came out to fly today, I know. So we are a mostly American team, but we do have some Australian folk and some European folk who fly with us. I want to thank every single one of you who came out to fly today, and especially my Pacific people who had to get up pretty early on a weekend day just to come out and fly internet airplanes with us. You guys are saints as far as I'm concerned, and I look forward to flying with you again on our future outings.
Yeah, I want to thank you for providing us this platform, and it is quite a unique experience for me to prepare the match once again, and interview is such a unique experience for me. Thank you so much.
Anything you need. I'm happy that you are both happy. Of course, there are a few problems here and there. Some things that have to be ironed out. And that's something I know the 51st guys will be doing this week for next week to have everything top notch to be sure that everything is working perfect for next time. So, guys, thank you for joining us. For all you guys over the stream, don't get out. We will be doing a review of the tag views in a few seconds. While I'm going to prepare them, and we'll be back with them, and we'll start doing a review what has been going on and what not. And hopefully we will get to learn something today from this fight. So guys, see you in a sec. Stay tuned.
Yep, thanks.
Okay, guys, we are back once again. Now we are with the TAC view analysis. Sorry for taking a bit of time. I was getting sure that everything was working and sorted out. So let us go with the TAC view. Of course, we see the TAC view for this first round where we had 420 the Goonies taking off from this side of there, and now of course we had the Chinese festival taking off from Moth Dog from this over this area here. That's correct. Okay, so as mentioned, we had the Bahagila sending missile downrange towards 707 ICU there and 996 with this area. But of course, not only managed to put them into offensive position. And of course, while we were discussing, the Goonies friends, they came with a high altitude, high energy, trying to put those missiles downrange. But you can see that those missiles tend not to arrive, except they keep you off guard. And we can see here, Bluebird was the first casualty of the match, taking that Phoenix to the rear. Of course, the Phoenix are a very scary missile, but of course, depending on the situation, it's very easy to re-notch and defend. But you need to know how to employ them. But we saw here that I'm going to take out the scoreboard, it's going to be easier. That King Crab itself went out of the fight. It was very far away, did not manage to put any kind of pressure into the enemy lines. He was way too far away to be able to hold missile downrange. And therefore he cannot help his friends over the first line of defense of this area who are fighting in and around 50 miles out. And therefore, even he's alive over here, this is a one less airplane into the fight. And we saw that he was all the way of the fight until the last moment where he was the only one alive. I think we are missing someone more. Oh, no, sorry. Of course, Chinese Festival decided to keep on the 17 the back area, putting missile downrange into a long distance. Of course, for you to know, guys, the SD-10s sent by the F-17 have a longer range than the 120s, and therefore are a very scary missile. They have better energy management, and they are less prone to be notched compared to the 120s, and therefore are very scary missiles. And employed correctly, they do outperform the 120s, and that's something to be careful. And more so when you have only 4 Fox 3 missiles, all the airplanes. That's a huge advantage when you have so little missiles and are very good missiles. Of course, the next casualty of this case is ICU here. It's a Fox 3 missile at 80 miles out from Bahagila. Might take the team member of Chinese Festival out. Of course, we can see here that Burncon Muffin himself, the one who was being interviewed right now, trying to defend the launch from ICU, going into the notch, turns hot into 996 and gets killed. And therefore now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, a 4-on-4 situation. So the Chinese Festival managed to level the playfield. I mean, they took 2 enemies. They took 2 casualties at the start of the fight. I think I'm missing someone. Yes, I was missing someone from the Goonies. This is something that we're discussing before. That Clough Prime here, you can see that he's at 12 miles south. He's Angels 22, and 996 is just and just 17. That means that, of course, Prime can launch further away, but his missile has to travel more distance than the one sent downrange by 996, and therefore this missile is arriving with less energy into a target, and therefore 996 can outrun the missile as he did. And Prime, because he's way too high, way too high, you can see here, that missile is still tracking. Still tracking. Oh, sorry, did it? Where was it? Maybe it was later on. Okay, sorry, I thought I saw a kill here. Sorry, guys. I was talking dumb shit in this case. Okay, let us continue. So, okay, this is the kill I wanted to check, because this is this is the key I did not check. But nevertheless, the thing I was mentioned with the 18 is important, and we were discussing that during the interview. Too high, too close is a very not a good position to be in this kind of format. You can see that 707 with the 17 puts us ST10 downrange, putting it into a good arc, and taking Mad Dog when trying to defend. Of course, you can see Mad Dog was very slow here, just Mach 0.8, well, 0.9, not that bad, but of course the 18 doesn't have that a good acceleration, and when you're trying to defend at ST10, you pull too many Gs, and the 18 does take a hit with the airspeed. And there now we are at 1, 2, 3 on 4, guys, from the Chinese festival. So you can see, guys, that we did discuss these fights do count down very fast once the fight starts. Of course, you can see King Crab is trying to support the team, but those finished shots do not track. It's very hard to track guys over down into the ground, and when you are in just 47, it's very hard. You don't have any kind of support from the radar to do so. I mean, they are just 35 miles out, which is not too much of a distance for a Tomcat, but of course they have to look down too much, and the radar for the Tomcat does have ground clutter implemented in the radar, and thus cannot really see this contact even if he's in the range where the Tomcat can see the enemy fighter. Of course, Prime is trailing 405 with the AIM-7s. In this case, did not reach. The AIM-7s have less reach than the 120s, and therefore that's why the 120s are a very scary missile in this situation, where you have them in a limited amount, because you have to make them count for sure. 721, that Fox 3 missile 10 miles out, while Bahakila, who didn't notice the missile and just take it to the face. And we have more casualties here. Let me check here. So Prime, you can see Prime is going Mach 1, pursuing 405 here. And of course, 996 takes this opportunity to send a Fox 1 missile. First one fails, but the second one does track and takes the kill and makes it level for CNF. Now we have a King Crab who has to do a Ganso and fight the entire enemy team, the 4 Chinese festival guys. I do recall that was the last finish, if I recall correctly. But you can see, being too high is not. If you are this close, at 30 miles out, you will take any missile to you. You cannot defend that missile at all. You can see that even if King Crab tries to defend, he takes the brunt of it and takes the casualty. So let me bring up the round 2 right now, and let us check it. Going to be an interesting one to check for sure. Okay, now we are on it. As mentioned, you can see that the guys over the Goonies did spread apart way more than the Chinese Air Festival. Sorry. Always saying Chinese Air Festival. And this is the situation I was calling before, as in Bahakila sending too many missiles at once, trying to be aggressive, as they did mention. But of course, the aggressiveness is not only sending missiles downrange, it is part. I mean, you can see that King Crab did manage. Okay, that's a kill. That's a kill. I thought it was a disconnect, not a kill. So King Crab managed to take a kill, a 60 mile out Phoenix to the face of 707, which is a very nice shot. Okay, that's something I thought it was a disconnect, not a kill. Nice work, mate. You can see there where the Tomcat shines. Those long-range missiles, when they do track, they are a very scary one. Of course, you can see here that Bahakila is almost goes taking down that 120 from 405. Now Bluebird punishing, and Bluebird and 996 and Bluebird punishing Bahagila for pushing too hard into enemy lines, and they take the kill. And now we are down to 5 on 5 situation. As before, we can see that Chinese Festival are down to the ground, Angels 18, 10, 6. Okay, of course they have 4 or 5 going back and to get into position. Of course they had the, in this case, 7-1 and Mach 1 Angel 27 coming in hot. But of course, Mad Dog, Prime, King Crab, all the entire 420 team, they were flying very, very, very high. Way too high for being this close. You can see here that ICU sends 2 120s, and of course they both did connect. So ICU did come with the clutch and said, okay guys, if you are going to try to kill me, you will not. I'm going to take the kill. And this is what happens. You can see that the 120 is, of course, is climbing. When he launched it and engine is 20 and they are engines 33 and 40, they try to defend, but because the area is so thin up there, they don't have enough air to maneuver and try to defend. Of course, they cannot use the ground down below to defend those missiles, and they kill for sure. Of course, Prime tries to turn, but to mention, with this thin air, you cannot turn them. You cannot outturn the missile at all, and you cannot outrun the missile because the missile, as you can see, doesn't lose almost any energy whatsoever. This is real time, so that missile is not dropping energy at all to get the kill. If you get any missile way low into the ground, you can see this 120 here. Okay, you can see this dropping energy way faster than the other one, and that's why you want the 120 to be down into the ground, so you can drain them as much energy as possible, as fast as possible. So let's keep on checking the situation over here. So far we saw that ICU came with a clutch, they took down 2 kills, and this seems to be the next kill by Bluebird. A 50 miles out shot into Burncorn Muffin. Of course, Burncorn Muffin trying to defend that missile. As you can see here, that he is fast, so he could outrun the missile. He really could. He just turned out cold and not decide to go to the notch. He could have outrun the missile, but sadly he went to the notch. He tried to go to the notch. I assume that in this position his radar warning was not singing, because of course, for you guys to know, radar warning only tells you radars that are being sent to you not vertical to your airplane, but only horizontal. That means that in this place he doesn't see any missile whatsoever, and that's why when he turns over here, the radar warning takes a bit of time to catch up with this missile. He doesn't give enough time to the airplane to catch up with the radar warning signals. You can see here that he's popping some chaff and flare when he noticed that he's coming out, but of course too late to be able to defend one. And let's see, this is going to be a kill too. No, he did manage to defend one. Okay, that's a freaking long range. You can see CNF with Angel 30, sending a 120 up arc way. Oof, that's a very long range 120. You can see that that's it. Managed to defend this one. Very, very close missile. This one was still tracking though up to the last moment, and that's a very scary missile to have send your way. Okay, I think we are still having King Crab over the southern area, which is pushing hot now to the northern area, putting 120s into a fight. And we saw that here that Bluebird was trying to catch up with King Crab, and of course that's it. Sent a 120 his way. Let me check here. Sent a 120 a 6 miles out into Bluebird and takes the kill. But of course, Bluebird doesn't take it for granted. He tried to put a 120 out, not being taken down, and managed to take down King Crab. And that's it against 1, 2, 3, 4 guys of Chinese Festival, and takes the kill. And guys, that's going to be it for today's fight between Chinese Festival and 420th Blazers, aka the Goons. And I hope that you guys have enjoyed today's fight. fight and today's commentary for my part. So let me check before we finish if the fight over the other side is still going for, and if there are, we'll go. Yeah, the fight over the other side is still going. So let me just rate the break shot so we can have it sorted out, and we can keep on. You can keep on watching the fight. Break shot. I think that's what's the command. Rate. Yeah, here. 51st break shot. That's it. So guys, have fun with break shot and see you later. Bye bye. Thank you for joining us.